Well, I bought the house, and as you know, I was traveling a lot for the last 6 months, and I hadn't stayed there a lot. And I decided one day I'm going to walk the dog, and I'm going to go to all of the other houses around. And these are mansions. And I'm walking around. Now, my house is beautiful. I love my house. And I'm walking around, and I'm looking at all these houses, and I remember thinking, my house sucks.
Yeah, with that.
And in that moment, that is me.
Right.
You know, all of those fears, that's some of the toxic 10 coming back. That's my imposter syndrome. That's my
Sure.
fear of rejection. Because what would they think of? He's the guy with the little house on the block, And it hit me. And I remember feeling that moment. But then what automatically came over me was I defaulted to, isn't that funny that I caught myself? I'm the great Joseph McClendon III who teaches all this stuff, and I caught myself. So I defaulted to laughter, and then it allowed me to go to my options, which were realize that I don't need it, nor do I want a big house like that.
Right.
And all of those options that I came to made me feel better. But that's one way it came up.
Okay, but in looking at this, let's say that. So what does that translate into? Let's say that you did feel a little bit of imposter syndrome, and then you got off it quickly. I guess my question is, so what if you stayed in that a little bit? Ultimately, that means what? What if you stayed in 6 of those things longer than you needed? And I want to know, when you're talking about a turnaround of how quick to move from stress or self-doubt, how quickly are you talking about?
It's almost instantaneous.
Okay.
Depending on how deeply you got into the trigger.
Okay.
In other words, when I saw somebody that had something bigger and better than what I had, it made me feel less in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, for all, my upbringing, childhood traumas and all those things, it brought back some of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so had I have stayed in it longer, I just would have been miserable longer.
Right.
That's it. And, well, I shouldn't say that's it. I may have done something. I could have done something different. If I drank alcohol, I may have gone home to ease that pain, to get out of that, drank alcohol or smoked weed if I did that kind of thing, or felt bad for myself for longer than I needed to be.
Yeah.
There's staying in that state and that emotion, there's no benefit in that. None of it. The benefit is in snapping out of it and going to something else. I forgot your second question. The first question is, had I have stayed in it longer? And what does that ultimately mean? What it ultimately means is the quicker we get out of it and we put ourselves in an optimistic state, then the quicker we get to find a way of justifying our feeling good and justifying what we have done and all those things. But I think more than ever, it gives you the opportunity to now have that as a reference. I snapped out of that, and now I can do it even sooner.
Right.
And also recognizing that really the big picture of what we're talking about is these toxic 10 getting in the way or sabotaging
something ultimately.
Yeah, but
that you do. That's exactly.
So if we're talking about we want to be healthy, we want to be wealthy, we want to be financially abundant. If we're stuck in any of those toxic 10 for too long, it inhabits us getting to those and whatever our path is to getting those 3 things. They can slow our process. If I'm so stuck in one of these toxic 10, these fear-based, the things that bring me negative energy and bring me down, well, that's taken away from my happiness.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's taken away from my physical health.
Right.
Whether I can see it, see the connection immediately or not. Those are the things that drain us from our light, from our strength, from our confidence, and also our clarity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's the clarity that we want and that we need
in order to move on.
Yeah.
Or else things are literally foggy, like you can't see.
Yeah. The moving on is you're moving, not necessarily moving on.
Right.
Well, because you could be moving in the wrong direction. Yeah.